my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a new eyeshadow palette that I came across completely by chance. I had no idea this was out and I was so excited when I saw it. It's Maybelline the Blushed Nudes. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I posted a picture of this the other day and some of you were wondering how it performed, if it was good, if I got it. I honestly did not get it the first time I dropped by the store, but you guys convinced me after I posted the picture, so I went back and I got it. Obviously, this palette resembles a very popular high-end palette, and it's the Naked 3 by Urban Decay. Honestly, I was never really interested enough in the Urban Decay Naked 3 to buy it because it's so expensive, and I thought I would like something with a little bit more variety than pinks. But now that Maybelline came out with this palette, of course I had to pick it up because, I mean, Naked 3 is a really pretty palette and this resembles it a lot. That being said, I don't think this is an exact dupe for the Urban Decay Naked 3. It's a very similar palette, but the shades are a little different. They're also placed in a way that it's very similar to the Naked 3, but they're not exactly the same shades. You can definitely create similar looks with this palette for a lot less money. This palette retails for around $9 to $10 and it is exclusive to Walmart stores. Maybelline has been doing different types of these bigger palettes exclusive to different stores. I think they came out with the Brights for Target, the Smokes for Walgreens, and then there's the Nudes, which I think you can get anywhere. But this one is the only one that I just felt I needed to get because it literally looked like the Naked 3 on a Walmart shelf. The packaging of this palette I think is really sleek. It's rose gold and it says the Blushed Nudes Maybelline New York in really pretty font right here. It's got a clear window where you can see all of the shades. Then in the back of the palette you get some information as to how to split up the colors to create different looks. They split them up into quads, trios, and duos, and it says 13 looks in one palette. I think that's really helpful, especially if you're a beginner in makeup and don't know exactly how to pair up the shades. Once you open up the palette, which has a really sturdy closure, I think it will be great for travel. You get two dual-ended applicators, which I usually use brushes, but I think these would come in handy if you don't have brushes. One side is flat to pack on the eyeshadow, and then the other side is thin to kind of go into the inner corners or smudge out your lower lash line. You get two of those. And these are all the colors. As you can see, it starts from light to dark, and then on the top row you get the pinky hues, on the bottom row you get the more gray tone and darker shades to deepen up the looks. I will be inserting individual swatches for each eyeshadow, but I'm going to do them with primer because I usually use primer on the daily. But I also want to show you how they look like without primer, so I swatched them all on my hand. This one is the one that has primer, and as always I am the most awkward swatcher ever. And then this one is the one without primer. As you can see, the vibrancy varies a lot, and there are some of the lighter shades that barely show up on my skin without primer. That being said, I'll let you know the ones that I like, the ones that I love, the ones that are not so good, you know, all that. The first one is a pearlescent white and it has a pink sheen to it. This one doesn't really show up well without a primer, but with primer it's a really beautiful shade for an inner corner highlight. The second shade is a shimmery pink. It's not chunky shimmer, it's very finely milled. This one, again, is not fantastic without the primer, but I love the baby pink shade. If you don't want to use white in your inner corner, this is a good option. You could also use it in the center of the lid to make your eyes look brighter. The third one is a Shimmery Champagne. This one does have a mix of finely milled shimmer and chunky shimmer. This one is a little grainy, but I love the champagne shade. I'm actually wearing it in the inner half of my lid along with other colors. The next one is the only shade in the palette that's matte, so it's the perfect blending shade, and it's very similar to one by the Naked 3. And this one swatches nicely without primer as well as with primer. It's a matte mauvey pink, and I love the texture of this one. It's very soft and buttery, and it blends great with all the other eyeshadows. It's the perfect transition or blending shade. The next one is a beautiful metallic rose gold. This is my favorite shade in the palette. I think that the pigmentation is a lot better because it's a metallic shade, but it's very soft and creamy and it blends nicely as well. The last color of the top row is a metallic antique rose color. I think that's the best way I can describe it. The texture is the same as the rose gold. It's very smooth and buttery, and it's very pigmented as well. The first shade is pretty much a shimmery gray. It's not chunky shimmer, it's finely milled shimmer, but it is very powdery. I am not a fan of the shade. It doesn't really show up nicely. I just think it's very flat and not very flattering, at least on me. The next one is a darker gray, more like a taupe. It has a metallic finish. It's not as pigmented as these two colors right here, but it is a very nice shade. You can definitely tell that it's a taupe rather than just a flat gray. The next one over is another taupe, but this one has more of a pink undertone, and it's a gorgeous shade. It's also a metallic finish, and it has a very soft and buttery feel. The next one is a dark gray. It's got like brown undertones. It's a satin finish and it's very smooth. I do want to mention the darker that they get, the formula is better and the pigmentation is better. Next you have a dark purpley brown here. This one comes off mostly matte, but it's got almost like a top layer of golden shimmer. You can use this shade to darken up your outer corner and crease, and it's not gonna come off looking super shimmery. The last one is a matte black with flecks of rose gold, and this shade is very pretty. It's great to darken up any look because the black is not too harsh or too extremely pigmented, which I kind of like blacks that are that way because it allows me to work with them at my own pace and it doesn't get out of control. Overall, I was not expecting to like this palette as much as I do. There's a few shades that I don't love, but the majority of these eyeshadows I can use in combination and they work really well together. So it's not like you're getting half good eyeshadows and half bad. You're just getting a few that are not really great, but then most of them are really, really good. So that's it for my review on the Blushed Nudes by Maybelline. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found it helpful, and if you can get your hands on this palette, I highly suggest you do. It's great quality eyeshadows for a very affordable price. If you guys want to see a tutorial on this look that I'm wearing today featuring this palette, it will be up very soon, so keep your eyes out for that. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye! Super comfortable, and it's a very bright kind of lime color. Both of these items are from Francesca's collection. I'm not sure if they still have them, but if I do find them online, I'll leave a link for you guys.